Well, here it is. Another week, another live. Feeling underprepared because I didn't really pick something to talk about this week until yesterday. So that is, I guess, where I'm going to spew my thoughts, or what I'm going to spew my thoughts about today. I don't even have anything to play at the start. Nothing that I saw this week made me go, I want to share that with a greater world. The CrossFit Open just finished and the leaderboard is pretty close to finalised, so that's pretty exciting. I wonder if games.crossfit.com, I wonder if they've sent stuff out yet. Not sent out. Excuse me. No, not yet. Not on there. All right, just working my way through this. Yay, lucky camera straps. Hello, Justin. First, it's quite warm in here today, so if you can hear the fan in the background, let me know whether it's annoying, whether it's just quiet background noise. Matt, hello. Hey. Matt's doing a half Ironman on Sunday, which is a pretty big deal. So good luck to him. If you want to wish him good luck and you're listening, why not write it in the comments? Go and give me a comment after the fact if you're not in here live that says, good luck, Matt. I hope you survive. I hope the weather's nice. I hope the course is nice. And I hope that the race itself is good for your body. All right. Last week I spoke about food marketing and how it's fooling you, and I was comparing different versions of packaged goods and what that kind of looks like from a marketing standpoint. Kind of following on from that, I thought this week, because it's, and where am I going to start this conversation from? I got triggered by some specials at Coles because they were advertising Celiac Awareness Week, which is the 13th to the 20th of March or something like that. Yes, 13th to 20th of March, Celiac Awareness Week. And I was just like, they're advertising things that probably most people, whether you're a celiac or a regular dietary person, you don't really need them in your life. And I was like, credit to Coles, one. I didn't know it was Celiac Awareness Week until I saw that. But then I got really annoyed by it because at the end of the day, they don't care about Celiac Awareness Week. What they care about is making money. How can we maximize our profits? And so I'm going to share a couple of images, which is what I put up on social media yesterday. Share screen. That one. Add to stage. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Right. So if you're not looking at the screen because maybe you're only listening and not looking, it's just a page out of the specials catalogue for Coles that is advertising Celiac Awareness Week, and it says every day. And in here, of the first 6 options, they're obviously all Coles products. And Coles, this is Coles' way of saying, hey, we've got gluten-free options. The first one is, I'm free from gluten muffins. Coles, I'm free from gluten frozen fish fingers, frozen garlic bread, frozen chicken nuggets, frozen beef pies, frozen party pack of sausage rolls. No, sausage rolls and meat pies. There you go. And I kind of thought, gosh, if it's Celiac Awareness Week, is that the right thing to be advertising in terms of like, hey, here are some options for you? And then I had to take a step back and go, well, my vision or what I see is like, it's Celiac Awareness Week. What's healthy for celiacs? How do they maximize their eating to maximize their life or stay healthier? Coles certainly aren't looking at it like that. They're like, how do we maximize our profits? Knowing that it's Celiac Awareness Week and people might be buying more gluten-free food for whatever they might be doing as a way to build awareness for celiacs. So it was kind of like, I don't know, I guess I found it weird because nobody needs this food in their life. So why would it be the food that you promote for Celiac Awareness Week, particularly the first 6 options. Further down, gluten-free wheat Bix. I have no issues with that at all, unless, I mean, if you've heard in the past, if it's got added sugar to it, that's my issue. Almond flour, obviously, wheat flour. What are the, and this is, my awareness is low, wheat, rye, and something else. If you're a celiac and you're listening, help me out. Because, and again, going back to at the start of it all, hey, I didn't know it was Celiac Awareness Week. And so right now I'm learning more about being a celiac than, say, just being what's got gluten in it or what doesn't, or what don't I have to think about and what do I have to think about. God, why is it so hard to find the information? Learn symptoms. Somewhere on this website I read yesterday 3 main: wheat, barley, oat. Yeah, maybe that's right. Maybe there was the 3 things on there that it's like try and avoid these things because they've got gluten in them. So if you're a celiac, obviously you would already know that. It's Lucky Camera Strap saying, is there a general feeling in the world that gluten-free food is healthier option even for us normies? I'll come back to that in a second. Essentially, going back to what's advertised for Celiac Awareness Week in the Coles specials catalogue, you know, I kind of, these 3 things at the bottom I have no issues with. Most people, you know, having bread in your diet is a simple way to eat lunch, you know, chicken and salad sandwich. Wheat Bix with the overnight Wheat Bix trend, or just having cereal for breakfast, then obviously having a gluten-free option for Wheat Bix is great too. Being able to use almond flour in place of wheat-based flours so that you can make pancakes, make, I don't know, what else do people cook with? And then this is where I get stuck because I'm like, I'm not a celiac. Hang on, let me show you this other picture first. I'm not a celiac, but I generally eat. I don't choose to eat gluten-free. I just generally eat in a way that just by standard is gluten-free. So this was the second page of this specials for the celiac awareness. And this is specials as opposed to the first page, which was, hey, here are some Coles products plus a couple of other options that are everyday great options, in their words, for if you're a celiac or if you're gluten-free. On the second page, it was, hey, here are some specials for this week that are gluten-free that you could choose as your options. But again, I look at a lot of this stuff and I'm like, most of the time, the entire specials catalogue from a supermarket is not really necessary stuff. And the thing that gets me, I was having a look in our house when I saw this yesterday going, like, no one needs veggie crisps in their life. And if you do, I'd like to know why. But someone did message me and say, hey, as a celiac, I would like the option to be able to have a meat pie if I choose to. And I'm okay with that. Absolutely have the option to have a meat pie. I just don't think that it should be one of the first 6 items that's advertised for Celiac Awareness Week in a Coles catalogue. But like I said, I had to take a step back and realise that Coles are selling products and trying to make money, and that's why they're advertising these things. And I am trying to help people be as healthy as possible. And the first 6 items on the Coles specials for the Celiac Awareness Week would not be something that should be a regular diet inclusion. Even these things, none of these probably, it would be very, very irregular for them to be in someone's diet, in my opinion, if you're trying to be as healthy as possible. So we will come back to, let me stop sharing that, come back to here. Lucky Camera Strap's question, is there a general feeling in the world that gluten-free food is a healthier option even for us normies? 100%, I think so. I think people believe if it says it's gluten-free, it's better, it's healthier, it's a better option. But based off, again, share that screen, the options presented by Coles in their specials, you would imagine there are healthier options out there than choosing muffins, than choosing fish fingers, than choosing garlic bread. Certainly meat, veg, nuts, seeds, fruit, potatoes, all of that good stuff are all gluten-free. And I think people forget that. It's like, what did I write in this title? Healthy food is generally gluten-free. There's very few items of healthy food that contain gluten or that can't be substituted out for something that is not inherently containing gluten. But not all gluten-free food is healthy. And again, that's where I come back to the Coles catalogue. It's showing people great quotations, great options for Celiac Awareness Week, but those options are, I wouldn't recommend those things to people day to day. So how come that gets recommended as a way for awareness for celiacs for this week that is theirs? So it just, interesting thoughts that I have. And I would have thought after the gluten-free phase kind of passed a few years back that maybe people's awareness of healthy food is generally gluten-free, but not all gluten-free food is healthy. I thought that maybe people were starting to understand that, but I think it still is not quite apparent to people. And it's as simple as things like this. It's like when the supermarket is advertising awareness for a week, but they're advertising packaged foods that are gluten-free alternatives of regular food options that probably don't need to be regular staples in your diet. It confuses people into thinking that these are good options for my day-to-day eating, in the same way that last week when we were talking about packaging on products, like Wheat Bix protein bites with 10 grams of protein per serve isn't actually a protein source. So it's not a food source that is considered a protein source, but the marketing makes you think that it is. And in fact, there's more sugar in there than anything else. And so at that point, it becomes, what's the purpose of this marketing? Well, can we sell more of this product to make more money? It's got nothing to do with whether or not the amount of protein is useful for your life or whether it is a protein source or not. It is just a marketing tactic to maybe convince you to buy more of that particular thing because you might not be aware about the macro breakdown in the first place, but reading it on the packaging might convince you that it's healthier. So yes, is there a general feeling in the world that gluten-free food is a healthier option, even for us normies? I think the way that food marketing goes about it, yes, it tends to probably come across like that. Oh, it's gluten-free, it's better for me. If you took my approach to eating or my approach to food, it's like, well, yeah, gluten-free food is the healthier option, but the gluten-free food that I'm considering doesn't come in a packet and says I'm gluten-free. It's meat and veg, it's meat and salad, it's fruit, it's nuts. If you're someone who likes pasta, obviously maybe there's a gluten-free option for pasta for you to continue to have your pasta, but that's not even something that's in my regular diet. So again, when I'm considering a healthier food option, it's just real whole foods, meat and veg, meat and fruit, meat and nuts, grown produce. It's all gluten-free, and generally that stuff comes without a packet, and so there's nothing in terms of packaging to put on there to say gluten-free. Like, I guess what would be an example? If you wandered into the supermarket and the potatoes said, I'm gluten-free. Well, they are, but I guess the expectation is people know that already, so they don't need to have it marketed to them. But maybe the concern is the general population maybe aren't that aware that these things in the produce section at the butcher section are gluten-free because it's not plastered all over it. So I don't know, it's just an odd thing that I get annoyed at, that I shouldn't get annoyed at, but I do. And so here we are. One of the other things someone said to me is, it was in reference to, share this tab, this page of the specials. Now, I don't know what Woolies special stuff look like, but I can imagine Coles and Woolies have the same idea in mind We're trying to make as much money as possible. What can we sell, or who's paying us to have their products advertised in this particular section for this point? And here they are on sale, so we might sell more of them. But in reference to the sale page, I also got a message that said even on sale, most of it's still overpriced for what it is. And a lot of options are still full of fat and sugar. And I'd have to go and have a look, but my assumption would be when it says full of fat, they're probably not healthy fats. The products are probably loaded with some sort of vegetable oil as well as sugar to just make it cheaper to produce, but still allow it to be gluten-free. And I guess we could go, fun times. We could go and look at more nutrition labels as a way to have a look at that. What's an example here? What's that say? Health Lab Holy Hazelnut. Health Lab Holy Hazelnut. People look at this and be like, oh, they're like a protein ball, or I don't even know what they are. Chocolate something ball. Chocolate filled ball. Okay. They're not a protein anything. On the packet it says vegan friendly and gluten free. You know what else is vegan friendly and gluten free? Vegetables, fruit, rice. What have we got as ingredients on this? Share this page. Whoops. Let's put that back on there. Let's zoom in. Nope. That won't do it. Ingredients. Dates, cashews, chocolate hazelnut spread, 12%, which is coconut sugar, hazelnut, sunflower oil, cacao powder, and sunflower lecithin. Organic brown rice syrup, essentially a form of sugar. Organic coconut, buckwheat, raw cacao, sea salt. Okay, so if you were going to have some sort of treat, this is probably not really a bad option, holy hazelnut chocolate-filled balls, but I wouldn't recommend going out and buying one ball thinking that it's better for you than maybe having a piece of chocolate if that's what you prefer to have. Like at the end of the day, consider that a treat more than something else. But the things that stand out there, what have we got? Protein, 4 grams, so they're not allowed to advertise that as a protein source, which is why it's not written on the front as a protein ball. Gluten not detected, fat 9.8 grams per serving, carbohydrates 19.5 per serving, sugars 11.8. Per 100 grams, there's 48.7 grams of carbohydrates, and 30 of those grams are sugar, and 15 grams of protein through that. So again, talking about it being a treat, that would be that thought process there. It is dates. That's pretty, what's the word I'm looking for there? Whole food. Cashews, that's pretty good. It's the chocolate hazelnut spread. Sounds fine. Then you read coconut sugar, so a variation of sugar. Hazelnuts, great. Sunflower oil, so oil added, cacao powder, and then we go further down, the organic brown rice syrup. So there's coconut sugar and organic brown rice syrup in this product as added sugar or carbohydrate, or what will turn into a glucose molecule as energy. So not terrible, but not great. But if you're looking for an option, hey, sure. What else did they advertise as gluten-free? Oh, the veggie crisps. That's what I wanted to go to. Okay. Veggie crisps. This one gets me all the time because I'm like, hey, if you want chips, just eat the potato chip. Pick your favorite packet of flavor. If it's salt and vinegar, salt and vinegar. If it's light and tangy. Again, I'm not 100% sure what potato chips are or aren't gluten-free. It's another one of those things where it's like, if you want chips, pick the one that you like, that is appropriate to you. But at the end of the day, if you're eating veggie crisps because you think they're healthier than potato chips, they're probably not really. Pick the thing that you prefer to eat. Don't worry about just, these are healthy or these are better for me. So what do these say on the front? Less than 105 calories per 20 grams serve. Justin says, plus potatoes are veggies. Yes, that is correct. And veggies are veggie crisps. potato chips. Potatoes are vegetables at the end of the day. These things are fried or baked, sliced thin versions of vegetables that are cooked with added flavor. So these ones say 105 calories per 20 grams served. So that tells me right now this 100 gram bag has 5 serves in it. So that's actually over 500 calories worth of veggie crisps in there. And so someone might not realize that if they eat this whole bag, it's actually a significant amount of calories when they think potentially they're being healthier because they're eating vegetable crisps in place of what might just be potato chips. On the back of that, so what do we got? Purple and orange, sweet potato and taro. So these are specifically sweet potato versions. So marketing, good, at least it's on the back. It's not slammed on the front. Was anything on the front? Gourmet snacking, gluten-free, preservative-free. In here, what are we looking at? Organic and purple sweet potato, taro, vegetable oil, seasoning 3.5, maltodextrin, tapioca starch, salt, sugar, yeast extract, and garlic powder. Could be worse. It's still not great in terms of those items in there. I always forget, so I'll Google that. So sweet potato, obviously, number one ingredient because it's the most. Taro, okay, so it's cooked in that. Vegetable oil comes third. Seasoning, and the seasoning consists of maltodextrin in the form of tapioca starch, salt, sugar, yeast extract, and garlic powder. Why won't this scroll down? What I want to see is what am I looking for? Let's just compare the pair. You know, because it depends what your goals are too. If you're trying to lose weight but you still want to have a treat, the question would be which treat at the end of the day fits into what I'm eating versus I'm looking for a healthier variation of a potato chip that has less sugar, less vegetable oils, less whatever it might be. Let's have a look at this. Per 100 grams. Gosh, there's 2160 per 100 grams. So essentially, eating 100 grams of veggie crisps versus using Smith's salt and vinegar chips as an example, the calorie breakdown is the same for 100 grams for both of them. Then, however, and this is where you look at it and it's like, hey, ingredients, potatoes, yep, makes sense because they're potato chips, canola oil, sunflower oil, food acids. And so this is where you start to look at what else has been added. If you're worried about things added to food, maybe one of them is better over the other based off what you're trying to eliminate or not eliminate. But at the end of the day, neither of them are going to be as healthy for you compared to baking your own potatoes or roasting your own chips or whatever it might be. Both the options are gluten-free though, but that doesn't make them healthier options for you. So there's certainly an item that should not be a regular staple in your diet if you're trying to maximize your health. That's probably what I'll say there. But at the end of the day, I think there was a 25 calorie difference per 100 grams of chips between the salt and vinegar Smith's chips and the veggie crisps that we were showing before. So both options are gluten-free. It's just like, hey, which gluten-free option do I actually want to have? And I might be saying things that are totally irrelevant to anyone listening because none of you are actually celiacs. So what do you care if they're gluten-free or not? And at the end of the day, when it comes to healthy body, healthy mind, healthier eating, the more natural the food is for majority of your diet, the better you will feel, the better you will perform, the better your brain will function, the better your gut health might be, the less inflammation you might have. And so the better you feel, the better you perform, the better your brain might function. And so it's almost this cycle of it just comes back around every time to what you eat can almost dictate how you feel. The more sugar you have, probably the more lethargic you feel. The more sugar you have, probably the more inflammation you might experience, which makes moving, exercising, what's the word I'm looking for? Challenging yourself feel harder because your body isn't functioning optimally because of what it's dealing with. So food for thought there. Now, what else did I have in my notes, or should I just talk about the open and neurological fatigue? Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe just quickly to finish off. If you're still listening, thank you for hanging in there. I don't know if the gluten-free stuff was relevant to you, but if there are gluten-free people in your life or there are celiacs in your life, I like to think that healthy food is gluten-free. But just because a product is labeled as gluten-free doesn't necessarily make it a healthy option. And that's what triggered me by the Coles specials this week. Now, on the flip side of that, what have we got? The CrossFit Open is done. Let me share this page. Excuse me. Share the screen. Gosh. All right, here's a list of all the people that signed up to the Open at Dauntless. I'm just going to quickly whiz through their names because whether they listen or not, they can have this shout out for, shout out for achieving some awesome stuff from the Open. So we just finished 3 weeks of the Open. Final score submission happened on 11 a.m. Tuesday morning. That closed, so everyone was done by that point. On Monday, there will be, so Monday in America, which is Tuesday morning in Australia, a CrossFit Games like update show or live podcast with Chase and whoever's joining Chase, probably Adrian Bosman, to talk through the quarterfinals workout. So if you qualified for quarterfinals, which is making it in the top 25% of the individual category, or if you're in an age group, the top 25% worldwide for your age group as well, you will have qualified for the quarterfinals. Now, if you don't know if that's you or not, what you will be able to see if you've got the CrossFit app is in the CrossFit app under the competition leaderboard. It's going to be hard to describe this. CrossFit, oh, where's that? The app, what's that say? Get rid of that. Now, there's a button down the bottom that says competitions, or up the top it says see your open ranking. You can go into that. When that page loads, along the bottom here, it says my rankings, and then you can tick a box that shows the percentage, or you can tick a box that shows your number out of how many people signed up in that category. So if you want to know if you made the top 25%, show as my rankings percentage, and then worldwide, the first box should be individual unless you're over the age of 55. And then the second box, so if you slide across, will show you an age group category if that's the case. As you continue to swipe across, it'll give you other breakdowns. So Australia here, and Australia 35, 39, and then Oceania, so the region as opposed to the country. And then the same thing again, if you've got an age group, it'll keep sliding across. And then at the gym, so your percentile within the people that are at your affiliate. Scroll across again, and then this also gives a percentile based off your age group at the affiliate. And they might be slightly different, particularly Australia or Oceania compared to worldwide, because there are, this is the best way to describe it would be, there are more people overseas who are worse at CrossFit, and that sounds terrible. The average of their fitness is lower. So worldwide, you'll probably rank higher than what you do in Oceania or Australia, because the level of fitness or the people that sign up tends to be at a slightly higher category or leveled, or it brings your average down essentially because there's less people below you but the same amount of people above you. That's the best way I can describe it. So particularly for me as an example, I've got a higher worldwide ranking or percentage than I do for my region, Oceania. And that's purely based off the fact that worldwide, there were more people filling out that leaderboard that were below me. And in Oceania, there are less people filling out that leaderboard below me. And that skews that percentage a little bit, which is why they do worldwide ranking, top 25% for individual, worldwide ranking, top 25% for your age group. On that, all right, look at all these people. Who did I want to make reference to? So Elliot's first year, and he got his first ring muscle up during the Open this season, so that's pretty exciting for him. Ez and Ryan both attacked the Open workouts from Western Australia, so you know how hard it is to motivate yourself to exercise alone. Imagine motivating yourself to do an Open workout that you know you're going to have to suffer in if you want to perform the way you want to perform. And so that's pretty cool for them. Gus, sitting in that boys 16 to 17 category as well as the individual men category. I think Gus did for the first time 9 kilo wall balls during the Open, so heavier than he might normally do in training. And it's probably a good point too. The Open is a chance to test yourself, and the encouragement was, hey, if you can do the movements RX, if you can do the workout RX, do it and see how far you progress through. And so Gus had a red hot crack this year with the 9 kilo wall ball. He had a go in the second workout with that 22.5 kilo dumbbell. And while he's close, he just wasn't quite there for that one. And cleans, and particularly the thrusters in week 3, 43 kilo barbell, I think it was, that first weight for the men. And Gus managed to hit that RX for as far as he advanced through that too. So there's some pretty cool things, I guess, for, it's not always about the top performers. It's, hey, who did something that they didn't think they could do, or who did something that surprised them? And they're really the highlights from the Open. What else do we have? Jake, Jared, Jace. Jared had to suck up doing that 9 kilo ball. Twitter, Jeff, Joey, Justin, Kez, 6 kilo wall ball. I don't think she'd normally choose that. And in that first workout, the Masters women really did draw the short straw. So RX standards for the workout in that first workout, 26.1. Guys, 9 kilo wall ball, 10-foot target. Ladies, 6 kilo wall ball, 9-foot target. In the Masters age group, 55 plus, the men did the 9 kilo ball, but they went to the 9-foot target. The women got the 6 kilo ball, but they went to the 9-foot target. So the Masters women had the same wall ball standard as the individual women, whereas the Masters men got a scaled version of the individual men wall ball standard. So that was really interesting. But kudos to Kez. I think she did the 6 kilo ball there, but I might be misspeaking. Lily did her first Open. That's exciting for her. She got to go home for the long weekend and do it with her family in Mildura as well. So that's pretty fun to be able to experience that, not just in your own gym, but also with other people. Matt got his first ring muscle up the day before the Open. Mark did a 9 kilo wall ball in that first week, which he wouldn't normally do, but he can do. And he got a significant number of chest to bars. I can't remember if he got 19 or Dave Grimes got 19. One of them got 20 and one of them got 19. And I don't think either of them were expecting to get that far through their chest to bars. So that was pretty cool for them too. Nick got his first muscle up. Oh, no, he'd done muscle ups before, but not regularly. So it's still exciting for him to get that in the Open. Tanya. So Tan Twit, also 6 kilo wall ball for the first time, and got pull-ups in the second workout as well. So big, massive achievement for Tan and Sky too, who did the heavy ball and the pull-ups for the first time in the Open. So, and Venky's first Open too, he did some scaled workouts there as well. He's pretty new to CrossFit, so it's exciting to see such a wide variety of people participate, but also just the ability to see people achieve something that they didn't think that they could achieve. Anyway, they were my quick wrap-ups. I think Ree did a few RX workouts as well. Actually, if I remember right, Women RX. Where is Ree? So Ree probably could have done every workout RX. She did the RX wall ball in this first workout, but stepped up on the box instead of jumping up onto it. And I've seen Ree jump onto a 20-inch box. So she actually could have done every workout this season at RX if we had have noticed that with enough time to get her to do that. So Ree should be proud of her effort too. Anyway, the leaderboard, plenty of leaderboards out there. Quarterfinals, open workouts get released Monday in America, which is Tuesday morning for us. So by Tuesday morning, you'll know if there's 4 or 5 workouts, what the workouts will be. I don't know if they're going to give us full workout descriptions or whether they'll be, here are the movements, here's the time frame, but you'll find out the other details later, or whether it literally will be, here you go, you get the workouts 3 days in advance, get ready on Friday, the quarterfinal starts, and you've got to the following Tuesday to get them in. So if you did qualify for quarterfinals, comment below, let me know. If you're planning on signing up, it'll be cool to know too who might be doing that. If you did make it in both age group and individual category, you have to register separately, but you only need to pay once. So it's $50 to sign up to quarterfinals to be on the official leaderboard. And with that, the requirement is you need a judge to judge you, kind of like the Open. You also need to do it inside a CrossFit affiliate. And if you think you're going to finish in the top whatever number of people for the workout and you could potentially be up for prize money, you need to make sure you video your workout as well. So the only difference kind of there is quarterfinals has to be done, it says online, in a CrossFit affiliate, whereas the Open can be done by videoing and submitting scores without the requirement of a judge or without the requirement of being in the affiliate. So that's where quarterfinals becomes really interesting, because it's like everyone now gets funneled into a CrossFit affiliate. And I can see both sides of like, this is good, this is not good, because there's people out there saying that they don't have a close CrossFit affiliate nearby, but they want to participate in quarterfinals. How do they do that? In which case it becomes that tricky thing of like, well, I guess you don't sign up, but you still do the workouts and you compare yourself to the leaderboard without being on it. Because what other option do you have to get your scores submitted? Because the affiliate manager of the affiliate needs to validate your score as being done within their gym. And so that, I don't know if it's always been like that. I thought maybe you were allowed to video and submit your videos, but I didn't pay much attention last year. Was it quarterfinals last year or the year before? Can't remember. Anyway, quarterfinals is coming up. 5 days to get the workouts in. It's likely that 2 of the workouts will be due in the first 48 hours, and then the following workouts will be due by the Tuesday morning for us. Normally, there's no requirement to do them in any specific order. So if you have to do all 5 of them or all 4 of them in one day, you can do them in any order you want to maximize that. It's just the order that the scores get submitted in that could change. More information on that will come out on Tuesday morning, though, once that podcast goes live and all of the details come out. Outside of that, I might save the neurological fatigue talk for later, or maybe never, I don't know. I just wanted to comment on the fact that, considering I haven't done a lot of the movements for over 12 months that came up in the Open, I noticed from the Open that I was significantly more fatigued, because neurologically, as well as muscular, but my muscles weren't sore, but my brain was more tired. So neurologically, the fatigue from, essentially, for lack of a better term, the rewiring of the movements that I haven't done in a long time affected me more and my recovery more than what the muscular fatigue from the workouts did. So that was really interesting. I think that week 2, after I did that pull-up and chest-to-bar workout with the heavy snatches, which I haven't picked up a dumbbell heavier than 10 kilos in over 12 months until that day. I haven't done kipping pull-ups. I hadn't done kipping chest-to-bar in over 12 months. The fatigue from that workout, having not done that stuff, but having enough muscle capacity to be able to do it was insane for me. And I think after that, so that workout was on the Friday morning. I think I exercised on the Saturday morning, and then I did one workout the following week before doing the next open workout on the Friday. That's how fatigued my body was and how unmotivated to exercise I was, because my brain and its capacity to want to move my body was so inhibited in that moment. So that's kind of what I wanted to go into more detail of, but it doesn't often happen like that. For most people who've been training consistently, it's probably more muscular fatigue that affects them more than neurological fatigue, but it doesn't mean that it's non-existent. Often on heavy lifts, you'll find that your CNS gets fried, so central nervous system, which is part of that neurological pathways in your body, one part of it, and that's what can be more fatigued than the muscles in your body and make you feel worse than maybe what your body actually feels like. Anyway, that's a conversation for another day. I won't be live next Thursday because I'm going under to get this cut open again and maybe cleaned up. So that's my wrist, in the hope that I can get it to bend back even just a little bit. You know, even if I could just get it to there, that would allow me something. You can see how straight line that is right now. So just a little bit of extension would be awesome. But that is next week on Thursday. So maybe I'll go live on Wednesday. Maybe I'll go live on Tuesday. So I'm coaching. I tend to enjoy going live after coaching because my mindset's in the space of the gym. So I'm coaching Tuesday next week and Wednesday morning next week as well. So it'll be one of those 2 days, probably around the same time though, around that 1 o'clock window. So if you're still here listening, thanks for taking the time to join me. If you've got questions that you would like answered, I still have the list and I'm still working my way through it, but sometimes I'm just far less organized than I'd like to be. And so I talk about things that I find relative in the moment to me, or easy to talk about for me. So if you've got specific questions you'd like to hear me spew words out about, why not? Do that. Let me know either in the comments or send me a message. But otherwise, thanks for taking the time to be with me. Justin and Matt, thanks for commenting. If it's still you there, thank you. If you're someone else listening and you haven't commented, don't be shy. Next time, jump on here and just say hello. You don't even have to ask a question, you can just say hi. Anyway, thanks guys.